Hello and welcome to episode 197, I should have looked first, of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. Oh, it is 197. Yay. We are finally getting to Vancouver, 1971. When in 1971? Why, August 19th, 1971. Just before that LA run on the 21st and the 22nd too, I think. Yes, they are on fire. Yes, this is a new show. It's been out a few weeks because I was late to the party. Because multiple reasons. I don't know why. I have been supremely unmotivated the last couple weeks in all areas of my life. I finally started getting my shit together last week. Finally had the wonderful interview with James Cook of Led Zeppelin News. That was super great. That was exceeded all my expectations. He's a great guy, really knowledgeable, really funny, really quick. And why didn't I post that? Couple reasons. First of all, the big lack of motivation, where I just feel like I'm wearing a lead overcoat this week, maybe post-holiday blues, I don't know. They're fine. It's not like, uh-oh, time to worry about Mark. It's just, sometimes you don't want to. And there was a matter of, I had an issue converting the M4A file to a WAV file with, without it sounding horrible in low bit rate and shitty. So I had to find try a couple of different converters, got it to where I like it, migrated it, because I'm between two computers now. There's the one I game with, the new one that I put together, and the trusty old laptop that has all my shows, all my podcasts, all my notes, all my graphics. So they're on opposite ends of the room, and I'm talking 10 feet distance between them, and what do you expect me to do? Just walk from one to the other? It's madness. But here we are. So I'm going to get that going. I don't want to drop two podcasts in one night because one will, by necessity, not get seen. So I am going to, this weekend, get that podcast up. It is a bonus podcast. It's not going to take the place of a regular podcast because although it is great, and although I think you're really going to like it and really enjoy it, it's not music, and you're here for music. And I know when I listen to the Bill Burr podcast, that I've been listening to him for years, probably 6-7 years maybe, and I never like it when he interviews someone. It's like, no, I want to hear you bitch about your life. I want to hear you yell at your phone. I want to hear you yell at your recorder and just get mad at everything and bitch. That's what I want. I don't want to hear you talk to Quentin Tarantino, as interesting as that would be, I guess. I don't know. Here we go. So, yeah, I am not feeling it. I am being dragged like a reluctant and stubborn mule. Legs out, or like a cat, putting a cat in the cat carrier to take him to the vet. All four paws on the edges. Nope, nope, nope. That's how I am. There's no reason for it. I love you guys. I love Led Zeppelin. I love this. And by the end of this podcast, I'm again going to be like, what a band. I love those guys. You know how I am. I'm a difficult patient sometimes. So, Vancouver, British Columbia. Brand new show, relatively. It's nice that there are still shows coming out after the, the collapse of Dogs of Doom. It's still around. It's still functioning, but that golden period during the pandemic when it was just raining new shows. I'm glad that's still happening. Thank you, Mark McFall, for, shit. I didn't listen to that podcast. Mark McFall and the Zepp Fan podcast, which I hope you listen to, has an interview with the fellow that taped this show. And I was going to listen to it so I could have some fucking insight into it, but no clue. I'm going to go take a stab that he was a teenager who snuck a recorder into the show and got away with it. Or is this the one? No. I don't even know anymore. I'm not even going to make conjecture because I just realized in my head as soon as I thought about it, I just conflated every new recording for the last 2 years. And it was going to be like, this is a show where Peter Grant took the mic away and gave the mic back, and then he taped Blueberry Hill, and then he filmed Blueberry Hill at this show, even though it's a year later. And so, I don't know. It's a show. If you want to hear how it came out, Zepp Fan Podcast, listen to it. Shit, let me know. I'll listen to it tomorrow at work. I can't believe I didn't listen to it. Apologies. Did not do my due diligence. This is what I'm talking about. I am just not feeling it. Oh, poor Mark has to sit in a chair and listen to Led Zeppelin and say words to people who listen and think he's cool. You think I'm cool, right? You think I'm pretty? Am I pretty in this? Do I look fat? Do I look fat? Look at me. This show is badass. This show is really cool. This show came out as a legit bootleg. So, he probably did not liberate it. He probably sold it to the Japanese labels, which, hey, no shade. If they said, hey, we'll give you 5 figures for this, I'd be like, here you go. Fuck the fandom. It'll be out on BitTorrent in 3 months. Which it was. And that's how I got it. And this is August 19th, 1971, the Pacific Coliseum, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. From the Wild West Side, EVSD Silvers, ripped with EAC. Thank you, Ian. I think Ian did this rip. Ian from Dogs of Doom. Ian, we love you. You are awesome, and you do good work, my friend. So, let's jump in. It is not the complete show. It starts at the tail end of Since I've Been Loving You. So we didn't miss too much. Or unless they opened with Since I've Been Loving You, which I think is crazy. So we've got, let me read you the set list, because you will be able to download this from heartofmarkness.com. Everything I have, you can have. And the set list is as follows. Since I've Been Loving You, 3 minutes and 28 seconds of that. Black Dog, Dazed and Confused, that has cuts in it. Stairway has cuts in it. Going to California with cuts in it. That's the Way with cuts in it. What is and What Should Never Be with some cuts in it. Celebration Day, cuts in it. Whole Lotta Love with cuts in it. A cut at 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Oh, Gallows Pole. Did I mention Celebration Day? Gallows Pole. What? Gallows Pole? Yeah, no shit, right? That song went from, they only played it once, this one magical night in Copenhagen, to now it's like they played it 32 times on this fucking tour. Not necessarily, but kind of like levee. It's like suddenly we're up to our neck in When the Levee Breaks, comparatively to what we had. So now we have another Gallows Pole. Yay. Whole Lotta Love. Weekend, the Eddie Cochran song. No cuts in that. Rock and Roll. No cuts in that. Communication Breakdown. No cuts in that. So let's jump ahead, shall we? I'm going to play a 3-song flow. Not uninterrupted. I will interrupt. And I will interrupt often in the middle of the song. Just when the groove is going and going, hey, how's everybody doing? You need freshen your drink for you? You want some more bread for the table? No, I won't do that. But I will not just play all 3 songs. So the first song is the aforementioned, surprisingly awesome and rare Gallows Pole, played on the double neck by the greatest band that ever lived. Vancouver, British Columbia, August 19th, 1971. Enjoy. Or don't. It's a free country. You have free will. I would prefer it if you enjoyed it, because you're listening and I'm trying to entertain you. Let me entertain you. Here you go. Man, they sounded like a California group to me in that. And I don't know how to explain that other than it sounded like an American group, California specifically. I don't know why, and I can't elaborate. It's driving me crazy. I liked it. There was a laid backness to it. Like beach shorts or denim cutoffs and flip-flops kind of vibe. At least to the bass groove that Jonesy was laying down. And what a sleeper song for Jonesy. That whole that's pretty badass. I want to listen to it in headphones and see if I can get some better clarity from that recording. I just heard it now just on my laptop speakers, which, you know, make everything sound like a shitty bootleg. But very cool. It's fun to hear. I mean, it sounds laid back, even though it's Led Zeppelin, and it's still boom, 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 boom. It doesn't have that, you know, in the 77 tour, I often refer to it as bombastic and aggressive, because it is. It's lurching. It seems like the band is straining on the leash at that point, like Bonzo's barely holding back the energy. And here, it just seems like these guys are just in a Cadillac, top down, just cruising down Beale Street or Hollywood Boulevard and just taking it all in. I don't know. It's just an image I have. Who knows? Whatever. Nothing matters. Everything matters. Some things matter. You know what matters? The next song. What is that next song, Mr. Donahue? Well, that next song for you is the next song in the queue, which I read the set list earlier. So if you refer back to your notes, you will see that the next song, the song that follows Gallows Pole, with that abrupt cutoff, is in fact Whole Lotta Love. Now remember, at 10 minutes and change, there is a cut in this recording, and it might be jarring. So I imagine that 10 minutes in, you're going to be grooving to it, because it's Led Zeppelin, 1971. Their Whole Lotta Loves are amazing. So just brace yourself and kind of remind yourself that there might be a little bit of a jarring transition. It may be smooth, it may be completely jarring, and probably disappointing, because you're going to want to hear what they were going to play next. But you still have 23 minutes of Whole Lotta Love. So we'll take what we can get. Let's listen together, shall we? Once again, Vancouver, British Columbia, August 19th, 1971. Enjoy, my friends. Oh, and Happy New Year. It's 2023. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bow. Happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy.
out. I felt so good. I think I'm moving. I think I'm moving.
All right. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome.
We'd like to
I know. Shh, 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 shh. Quiet, Robert. I'm speaking. Please, no manners.
we'd like to thank you very much anyway for being.
That was really cool, and it was interesting. Like the first half of it, I was having a hard time. It sounded like they weren't quite hitting a groove to me. Jonesy and Bonzo were, and it seemed like Jonesy and Bonzo were going more jazz. You know, Bonzo was really having a good time with the ride cymbal, and I don't know. The first half was just what I was ruminating on what I meant by the laid back California sound, because I kept hearing that for the first half, and it's not. It's Jimmy trying to. What it sounds to me like, it sounds like Jimmy was being a little subtle for the first part of the show and not really raging and playing super crazy fast like he did in 71. And it almost felt like a 1975 Jimmy, a good 1975 Jimmy, not sloppy, but just in that, to me, mood. There we go. And it felt like Jonesy and Bonzo were trying to, they had their own thing going, and Jimmy wasn't jumping in and joining them, nor were they jumping and joining him. It was still great. It was still good, but there's, you know, that magic when all the cylinders are firing and it's perfect and it's, oh my God, amazing. It seemed just short of that to me in places. Now, the second half of the show, or the second half of the song, rather, where Jimmy just rages and goes loose, it's like, there's the 1971 Jimmy I'm used to. This is in no way saying it's bad or anything. It just seems like they were maybe trying something a little different. Sounds like they're trying to be a little more adventurous with the drums and stuff. And it was great. Jonesy kept right up. I don't know. I have to listen to this again. And again, maybe it's because of what's coming out of the laptop speakers. I'm not hearing some of the stuff. That happens often when I listen to something on my system and not my laptop or my headphones. I'm like, oh my God. So that could also very well be the issue. And again, in no way, not throwing shade, not saying it's not good. It was just interesting. It seemed a bit non-standard, which is good. I like it that they stretch out and they experiment. One of the reasons why I love this band. See, we came around the corner, and now I love this band. Oh, my levels are low. Hang on a second. I'm going to become louder. There we go. How's that? There we go. A little louder. Sorry. I didn't realize the disparity between my voice and the beautiful music was so great. It should be better now. And now we just have one more song before we say goodnight. But before that, you know it. I know it. It's just got to happen. The spiel. You can find me on any and all podcast platforms, I think. If you're on a podcast platform and I'm not, let me know and I'll get on it. So Spotify, Apple, I'm on SoundCloud originally. Everything's posted directly to SoundCloud, and then it goes out from there. So Android, Stitcher, Podbean, all of it. Spotify, if I didn't say that, I think I did. I'm not on Amazon, I don't think, unless they put me on there. I should look. If I'm not, I'll get on Amazon. So there's that. I have a website that I mentioned earlier, heartofmarkness.com, where you can download these shows that I play for you. Because, why? Because I love you, I love the music, and I love doing this. I got these shows for free. You get these shows for free. That's the whole point. And when that's going on, there are almost no bands that have a problem with that. There are some that do, and that's fair. Allman Brothers Band doesn't want you doing it. Okay, fair enough. Zeppelin, fine with it, as long as you're not bootlegging, which is what this guy did by selling his tape to Japan. He made Jimmy Page frown. That's okay. Jimmy Page has lots of money. This guy has less money than Jimmy Page, even though I don't know who he is. So we got some money out of the deal. No problem. We still got the show, and we still got the show for free. Although, it probably Pisses off our Japanese friends. That's all right. I also have a Facebook and a Twitter and YouTube under the name Heart of Markness. YouTube is also a place where you can find the podcasts. Same podcasts. Hang on, I'm going to cough vociferously and then I'll be right back. And we're back. I don't remember what I was saying. So, okay. Oh, yeah, I did. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. All those things. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Facebook group. Actually, it's not my Facebook group anymore. There's hundreds of us. Literally hundreds, and they're all wonderful people. So join up if you want to. Love to have you. YouTube I mentioned. Twitter I mentioned. heartofmarkness.com I mentioned. If you like what I do and you like how I do it, and you're of a mind and of the means, consider becoming a patron of this humble yet mighty podcast. Patreon.com/heartofmarkness. You get your own podcast every month, at least one. And the last one I did was the evolution and different iterations of In the Light during the Physical Graffiti sessions. We listened to 3 different embryonic versions of it, including the one that became the one that was on the deluxe edition. But lots of changes there. Lots of changes from where they started to where it ended up, and each one of them is great. If you like that kind of stuff, consider becoming a patron if you can. If not, listen to the podcast. If you like the podcast, listening to it is great. Sharing it is greater. Telling your friends about it, greatest, that kind of thing. Love it. Leaving a review on whatever podcast platform you're using is legitimately a huge boon. It makes a difference in the podcast and its perceived relevance by the algorithm and how often it shows up in suggested things. Now, I'm explicit because I say PP sometimes. So having that explicit tag kind of fucks me. See? Explicit. Like with YouTube. I have fewer than 500 subscribers on YouTube because I'm tagged explicit because I say PP and poo-poo, which means I won't be monetized, which is fine. But it also means that I don't show up as often, or maybe not even at all, in suggested, hey, you like Led Zeppelin? Listen to this guy. So, your leaving reviews and sharing and stuff helps mitigate that loss that I have from trusting you to be old enough to survive if I say fuck. And now it's too late to change it because I'm, 200 episodes in and they all explicit. So yes, Patreon. In addition to getting your own podcast, at least one every month, you also get your name read out to thousands of people to hear and envy and go, that person is better than me. And unless you tell me not to, and there have been a couple people that are like, don't read my name, I will read your name like I'm going to now. So, a laurel and hearty handshake go out to the current titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble yet mighty podcast. Thank you to Keith and Tilda, Brian, Matt, Steve, George, Big Ed, Kenny, John from West Footscray, Picard or Picard, or Picard, Knagern, Chris, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad, Dan, Yell, Tracy, David, Bonzo, Billy, and Mimo. Thank you, my friends. They make it all happen. They pay for the hosting. They pay for the website hosting for heartofmarkness.com, pays for the cloud hosting for the shows where I store them on the Mega Drive, the cloud drive, pays for the SoundCloud hosting. All that stuff goes up every year, gets more and more money. And they make that happen. You wonderful patrons make that happen. All right, I think we're through the spiel, which means we can get back to the show. Let's get back to the show. One last song, Eddie Cochran's Weekend. Love it when they play this. Love it when they play this. Robert's voice is perfect for it. Oh, such a good song. So good, so good. Eddie Cochran's pretty good. If you haven't listened to much of him, he's worth it. Get on Spotify and just listen to like the featured songs, his hits. And there's some stuff you'll be like, oh, I had no idea. Like he's the original Young Boy Blues. No, not Young Boy Blues. The other one. Summertime Blues. Ain't no cure for the summertime blues. So here we go. Weekend, Eddie Cochran. Same show as we listened to. August 19th, 1971. Vancouver, British Columbia. Star of the Northwest. Pearl of the Puget Sound. Northward. Enjoy.
Everything that we expect Vancouver to be is too.
I don't know. There does seem to be a little bit of a sticky gear there. Or maybe I also could be comparing it to another version of Weekend that they did. They did it several times. I think they did it into 1972. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of, I don't know. Doesn't matter, because you know why? Because we done. We made it. I did a thing, and you heard a thing. There we go. Things have been done. Things that can never be taken back. All right, friendos. I will get that much belated interview with James Cook. It was a hoot. He is a wonderful man. Super funny. I like him. All right. That'll be this weekend. And then, or maybe not. Who knows what I'll do? Maybe I'll just do it. Well, you'll see. You look at your phone and go, oh, well, he lied about that because there it is. It doesn't matter. Enjoy. I love you. Be good to yourselves. Bye.